Hi everybody, Russell here. Let's get into the weekly essay here, the video that supports the weekly essay. And to do so, what we're going to do here is we're going to click on Viewers. So we're going to go to the Viewers tab and you'll default it to Viewers Home. If not, you can click on Home and then from here, click on Watch List Viewer, either here or you can click here, whichever one you prefer. All right, Watch List Viewer. And then what I want you to do is to go on the left-hand side over here and go down to where it notes commodities. You've all got access to this one here, commodities, that group there. And this is what we're looking at, nickel. So fire up nickel, there we go. And what I'll do here is I'll right click and I'll auto fit all columns. Okay, so these are companies in some way, shape or form associated with nickel. We're not saying that they are necessarily pure nickel players. Northern Star Resources, of course, is primarily a gold stock. Okay, but it does have some association, whether it be exploration licenses or a shared partnership or whatever it might be with nickel companies, or at least a project entailing nickel. Okay, now at the end what I'll do there is I'll show you some very strong nickel plays as such, but what I want to do here is I want to refine those 71 stocks. Of course we wouldn't go and buy all 71, quite a few stocks to buy. If I look at the watch list average, come down to the bottom, right click, view watch list average, and you'll see over here if I go back over 5 years, you'll see, of course, the story is, of course, nickel is going up, but there's one or two companies here that pulled those earnings down dramatically. Up they came again. Okay, if you look at the sales over here, fell away, starting to come back up. So there's lots of different things going on there. The profile over 5 years is not bad. It's a bit volatile at times, but it's not too bad, but we can do a lot better. So what we're going to do here is we're going to refine this a bit more. So to do so, what I'll do here is I'll right click on nickel and I'll make a copy. So there we go, we're going to make a copy of nickel, there it is. And now let's get to work. So first thing first, straight away, let's remove any stock where the VST is below 1. So coming into here, here we go. There we are, 0.99. So if I hold my shift key down on my keyboard and I can press my scroll key down on my keyboard per my scroll key down, or if you prefer, another way you can do it is just simply highlight the given stock, roll down to the bottom, then hold your shift key down, click on the bottom, and that tranche will be highlighted. Right, so with that highlighted, delete, selected, there we go. It now removes that out. So there we are. We've got 17 in total. Let's keep exploring a bit further. Let's pick on relative value. Relative value is looking at long-term upside potential. Right, so we're looking for companies with good upside potential. The story behind nickel as it stands right now, the fundamentals behind nickel are very strong. Okay, so let's have a look. Why are some of these companies having an RV currently below 1? Well, it might be that, of course, that they are not pure nickel player type companies. So they might have other such assets that they're invested into, and those other assets could be causing them a few issues here or there. All right, so these are not just pure nickel players in their own right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove any company with an RV below 1. There we go. So let's delete those ones out there. Okay, and then I'll just do a final check and balance here, and I want to make sure that my GRT earnings growth rate, I want to make sure the earnings growth rate is positive. Now this one here is 0 currently, so I'll remove that one out. Okay, so straight away I've taken all of those companies associated with nickel and I've refined it down to these 5 here. Now if I come down to the bottom here, right click and view the watch list average graph, and I'll bring it back, let's say 5 years in total. Look at that. Great set of earnings there. Let's make this an area graph here. And it's not a bad looking profile. A little bit of volatility here or there, but overall not bad. 5 years ago, what was the price? 15. It's now 32, so it's doubled in price over the last 5 years. Let's close out of this. Now, I hear a few of you saying, well, Northern Star Resources doesn't really have too much to do with nickel. Fair enough. So let's remove this one out. Right, so we're just looking more for a nickel type play. So here they are, the final 4: Oz Minerals, Rio Tinto, BHP, and Western Areas. Now, see that? Using the power of VectorVest, I was able to break it down to those 4 companies. So let's do this. I'm going to show you a couple of web pages here and have a little bit of a look in terms of what these companies are up to from a nickel perspective. So let's bring this across. Okay, so here we are, Oz Minerals, and I've done a search and find function here, so you can see West Musgrave. So if you want to research a bit more about it, there, the project there for Oz Minerals, West Musgrave. All right, so it's talking about nickel and copper deposits. So Oz Minerals is into that there. So copper nickel intersections have been returned from drilling at several other prospects. Right, so interesting. There it is. There's the nickel play in making. BHP. All right, so here is BHP. Big write-up there. If you want to look up for BHP, it was an article put out there. BHP/our-business/our-commodities/nickel. So it's on the BHP website. You can see a big write-up here on nickel, the facts around nickel, what is nickel, and then as we get into it a bit more here, BHP talks about BHP now sells more than 75% of its nickel production to the electric vehicle battery materials industry. All right, interesting, right? So they are a producer and they're selling it primarily to the vehicle battery market. Next one I want to have a look at here. There's another website I came across here. If I come up to the top up here, it's entitled NS Energy, profiling the top nickel producing countries. So you can then go in here and read who are the major players: Indonesia, the Philippines, New Caledonia, Russia, and here we are, Australia. So you see over here, the major nickel production companies in Australia are BHP, so that's one on our list, which owns 100% of the Nickel West division. Okay, and Mincor Resources, which is engaged in developing 4 deposits in the Kambalda region in Western Australia. Okay, so you can read up about it there, but look at that, there's BHP. All right, so BHP, and then I've got another one here. Western Areas. Western Areas is Australia's leading nickel producer with 2 of the highest grade nickel mines in the world. westernareas.com.au. So there they all are. So let's move this out of the way. So there we are. So you can see the research behind that, just to show you that these are companies that have got a good grounding in nickel. Right, and here it all is. So let's have a look at the watch list average graph here. View watch list average graph. Here we go, and pull that back over 5 years. Yeah, look at that. Great set of earnings. A little bit of a pullback here during coronavirus, it looks like here, and it's coming back up again, but that's positive. Let's add in the earnings growth rate. So here we go, put in GRT, a solid 11%. It is coming off slightly, but still, look at the actual number, 11%. Very solid number here. Sales, yeah, holding steady with a bias toward the upside now, so that's good. Okay, so a little bit of a mixed bag. It's not stellar, it's not knocking it out the park for me. It's still very solid, but you can see, you know, sales have sort of come off a bit. Now they're coming back up. I do like the look of the earnings profile. Very nice profile, apart from a little bit of a rest there, but up it's coming again. Net profit margin here, a solid 10% currently. Okay, so there it is. Using the power of VectorVest, the power of watch lists, I was able to drill into nickel. I was then able to distill it down to just a handful of stocks. And then I was able to just do a little bit of extra research to find out a bit more about those companies. And there they are. They're the 4 companies there, heavily into nickel, per my analysis, using the power of VectorVest. And VectorVest made it quick, simple, and easy. I was reading an article on nickel, and I thought, wow, what a great article there. Why don't I investigate a bit further for the nickel players in Australia? VectorVest has got a nickel watch list per commodities. Had a look at it, and then just distilled it down. That's the power of VectorVest, your fingertips. It speeds up your time dramatically. Now, one last thing just before I sign off, you'll see one of those articles there spoke about MCR, that being Mincor Resources, right? So we can put that one in. The reason why the analysis didn't bring it up, here the VST was below 1. That's why it didn't make it, but if you are looking for a pure type nickel type play, Mincor Resources there, but you know, we want to start to see things turning around. Maybe it's the early investors sort of speculating that, you know, that nickel, is going to be a big player, but we're not seeing it quite on the earnings just yet. So just a word of caution on that. That's why I opted to keep it out. All right, so that's why I kept it out for now. But of course, if you're looking for zinc-related stocks, MCI is also one just to be aware of as well. Okay, look how quick and easy VectorVest makes this for us to do. Until next week, bye for now.